भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति शपदान्तिकं वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाषाण देशतारिणे। Hare Krishna. So we welcome you all for today's session. So last class we discussed about third chapter. So last section Lord Krishna is explaining about the lust. He gave a very systematic lecture on the lust. And he was explaining what is the origin of the lust, what is the quality of the lust, what is the sitting place of the lust, what the degree of the lust, and how it can be conquered. So now today we go to chapter 4. Before that, in sloka number 41 and 42, 42 and 43, he is telling about how to conquer the lust. But if we go to 40, in the sloka number 41, how it can be destroyed by knowledge. See, if you see, and there are three places where the lust is residing. One is in intelligence, one is in mind, and one is in senses. I'm audible? Okay. So if the senses are engaged in Lord's service, then senses get purified. And when we chant the holy name of the Lord, mind get purified. And when we read scriptures, when we read Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, our intelligence get purified. In this way, every day we can engage our senses, every day we can engage our mind and intelligence, and we get purified. So in this way, every day, just like we clean the room every day, similarly, every day we need to purify our consciousness, we have to purify our senses, we have to purify our mind, like that. So that's what it is said, because the intelligence is at the higher, below intelligence is the mind, and below mind is the senses. And the mind is controlling all the senses, but we are not, mind is so powerful. But one thing we can do is we can engage the senses. We can engage the senses in service of the Lord. And many, like Lord, like Ambrish Maharaj, he used to use his senses to go to the temple, just like he used to use his leg to go to temple. He used to clean the temple by his hand. He used to smell the flowers of the Lord, the flower which is offered to the Lord, and he used to use the eye to take the darshan of the Lord. So in this way, we can engage all the senses in the service of the Lord, and then the senses can be purified, which is very easy. Then gradually the mind will get absorbed by chanting the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. By chanting the holy name, mind get purified. And hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and reading, our intelligence get purified. In this way, a calm das can become a Krishna das. Now, today we'll go to chapter 4, transcendental knowledge. So here, Shivavanuvacha ivam vivasate yogam proktvan abhyayam vivashman manve paraha mano yukshva abhavita. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Lord Sri Krishna said, I instruct this imperishable science of yoga to the sun god Vivasvan. And Vivasvan instructed to Manu, the father of mankind, and Manu in turn instructed to Yaksha. So now the question comes is, why suddenly Krishna is talking about, I gave this same knowledge to Vivasvan? The question comes in our mind, because now he was talking about lust, suddenly he is talking about sun god. If you read Srila Prabhupada purports, third line, Prabhupada is explaining, the kings of all planets are especially meant for the protection of the inhabitants, and therefore the royal order should understand the science of Bhagavad Gita in order to be able to rule the citizen and protect them from the material bondage to lust. So Krishna was talking about lust. Now he is telling, see, I give the same knowledge to Vivaswan. He was also king, and you are also king. The duty of the king is to protect the inhabitants. He has to give emotional support, he has to give bodily support, and he has to protect the lust also. Because the lust is a mahapa, it's the greatest torture for the living entity, you know. So that is the duty of king also, to protect the living inhabitants from the lust. So that's why I am telling to you, Arjun, it's the duty of the king to take care of the inhabitants and protect them from the lust. So that's how, that's the connection between the last chapter and this chapter. And then in sloka number 2, it's a very famous sloka and very fundamental sloka. You have to be very, very clear about this. Then you will be progressing in spiritual life. It is that evam parampara pratam evam raja rishiyo vidu sa kalena mahata yoga nasta parantapa. This supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession. The saintly kings understood it in that way, but in course of time the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it is appears to be lost. So it is said here, it appears to be lost. It is not lost, it is appears to be lost. Actually, the transcendental knowledge is never lost. It's because there was no right person was there to pass on. That's how it is appears to be lost. Actually, the transcendental knowledge is never lost. Just like Srimad Bhagavatam, 5000 years before, Sukhdev Goswami spoke to Parikshit Maharaj. Actually, the Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken from very beginning, you know, like Lord Sankarshan spoke to Sanat Kumar, and Sanat Kumar gave to Sankhya Muni, and Sankhya Muni gave to Paras Muni, and Paras Muni gave to Maitreya. So that's how the Bhagavatam has come. So this Bhagavatam, which is spoken 5000 years before, in that actually one episode. But Bhagavatam was spoken, it's the dawn of creation. Similarly, Bhagavad Gita also, it's not that Krishna gave in Kurukshetra. It was one of the episodes, but this was there in the beginning of the creation. So the main point here is that the knowledge should be received through parampara. What is parampara? So parampara, there are 4 parampara. I hope you may have some idea about that. That is, one is the parampara which flows from Lord Brahma. That is, ISKCON comes in that. Brahma Madhya Gaudiya Sampradaya. And then one more parampara flows from Lakshmi Devi. That is Sri Parampara, so Ramanujacharya. And one more parampara, third, that is flows from Rudra Sampradaya, Lord Shiva. And then one more parampara, that is fourth, that is comes from 4 Kumaras, Kumar Sampradaya. So the knowledge which if you get from this parampara, then that knowledge is actually accepted as that is received from disciplic succession. So that knowledge is as it is actually. That will transform the heart. Anyone who receives the knowledge from the parampara, then heart transforms. So that's why it's so important that we get knowledge from the parampara. Evam parampara praptam. So, and then we have to pass on that parampara as it is. That's why Prabhupada gave the Bhagavad Gita name as Bhagavad Gita as it is. Right? The knowledge should not be nothing should be added or subtracted. It should be passed on as it is. This is the main qualification of a speaker. If you listen, if you want to get a genuine knowledge, now you have to select the speaker. Who is that speaker? The speaker has to be from the parampara. That is there, then you will get the right knowledge. Otherwise, many people can speak about the spiritual topic, but especially all the acharyas focus on not to listen from whose consciousness is polluted, who's not from the parampara, because there could be some ulterior motive behind that, like giving knowledge. So this is the main qualification. The qualification of the speaker has to be that he should be in the parampara, and then when we receive it, we should pass on as it is, and we should not add our own concoction. If at all we want to transform anyone's heart, if at all our heart has to be get transformed, this is the procedure. That's what Krishna is saying. If this does not happen, then the transcendental knowledge is not passed on. It appears to be lost. It's not lost, it appears to be lost. This is sloka number 2. So it is said in last paragraph, if you read Prabhupada purport, Bhagavad Gita, accepted as it is a great boon to humanity. But if it is accepted as a terrestrial of philosophical speculation, it is simply a waste of time. Right? So this is very, very important. So now, in third sloka, it is said, what is the qualification to understand Bhagavad Gita? It is said, that very ancient science of the relationship with Supreme is today told by me to you, because you are my devotee as well as my friend, and can therefore understand the transcendental mystery of this science. Now here Krishna is saying, Bhakto sime sakha cheti ragasyam ye yet uttamam. It is said that it is mysterious. It is very mystery to understand. What is the mystery? What is the mystery here? Bhagavad Gita is there in front of us. We can read Bhagavad Gita and understand. There is no mystery. But Krishna is saying rahasyam. It's a mystery. Why it is called mystery? It's not easy to understand. That's why the qualification to understand Bhagavad Gita is Bhakto si me sakha cheti. It is said one should be a devotee of the Lord. One should be sakha, it is said. Right? So Prabhupada explains. See, Arjuna is accepted as a devotee of the Lord. So how could he not believe Krishna's... Sorry. In first paragraph, second line. The Lord selected Arjuna as the recipient of this great science, owing to his being a devotee of the Lord. But for the demon, it is not possible to understand this great mysterious science. There are number of editions of this great book of knowledge, and some of them have commentary by the devotees, and some of them the commentary by the demons. So commentation by the devotee is real, and whereas the demon is useless. Only the devotee can understand. Why? Because Krishna only reveals to the devotee. Just like a two lover is there, they can speak even through the actions. They don't need to speak only. They just convey the message through the actions only. But the third person cannot understand. Only they can share to the dear ones what they were trying to tell. Similarly, the Lord's intention can only be understood by the devotees, not by who is against the Lord, who does not accept the Lord as Supreme Person. How can he can understand the intention of the Lord? How can he can... Because the realization comes through the Lord actually. So that's why that we have to hear from the devotee of the Lord. Only he can explain. And then why it is rahasya? There's one more reason, because like in Kunti Maharani, if you see in Bhagavatam, he's saying, my Lord, your activities are so mysterious, because you are a Supreme Lord, you are absolute truth, you are a controller. Even a fear personified is very fearful of you, but you are crying in front of Yasodamaya. This is something actually, it makes me bewildering. How is it possible? Even a fear personified, death personified is fearful of you, and how you are fearful of Yasodamaya? That's what actually bewilders me. So, and even Lord Brahma was bewildered by seeing Krishna was actually a coward boy. How can Supreme Person, Personality Goddess, tending cows? What made him to tend cows? I don't know. What made him? Why he is taking trouble to tend cows? So that bewildered Lord Brahma. No, he cannot be Supreme Personality Godhead. If Brahma can get bewildered, what about us? We are such a small, tiny jiva. Right? So this is it's a great mysterious. That's required intimate relationship, very close relationship. That's what Krishna is saying. Bhakto si me sakha cheti. Only someone is very intimate. Only then he can understand the truth. Only then you can understand the art of a person. That's what it is said here in second line of the sloka. And in fourth sloka, Arjuna is asking a question. Arjuna said, the sun god Vivaswan is senior by birth to you. How I am to understand that in the beginning you instructed the signs to him? Okay, Vivaswan was very senior. You are saying that you gave to him. How can I believe or how can I understand this? Now Prabhupada writes in the first line, Arjuna is an accepted devotee of the Lord. So how could he not believe Krishna's word? The fact is that Arjuna is inquiring for himself. Arjuna is not inquiring for himself, but for those who don't believe in Supreme Personality of Godhead. So those who are atheists, they may have this doubt, how it is possible. That's how for a demon who don't like idea that Krishna should be accepted the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for them only Arjuna is inquiring on this point, as if he were himself not aware of the Personality of Godhead. So in order to convince the atheistic people, the people who don't accept Krishna the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so he asked this question. So another Acharya is saying that, pointing out that why Arjuna asked this question, because Arjuna is very eager to hear the glories of Krishna. See, Krishna cannot glorify himself, no? So he is asking this question so that Krishna can glorify about himself, you know. So that's why it is said that this sloka is a seed. It's a seed of speaking about himself. Like Krishna will speak about himself. So from next sloka onwards, Krishna will tell about himself. Right? So it is said in sloka number 5, the Personality of Godhead said, many, many births, both you and I have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot. O subduer of the enemy. So here, why Krishna can remember and why Arjuna cannot remember? Because Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. His body and soul are same, Satchitanand, and then Arjuna is Jiva. So he changes the body, so he does not remember the previous life. So as we don't remember the previous life, that is the difference between the Supreme Lord and Jiva. Jiva cannot remember the previous life, the Lord can remember all our life. That's how he resides in Paramatma, and then he fulfills the desire, or he gives an whatever the action we have done this life, next life we have to actually enjoy the result. So he gives remembrance. Now you go do this activity, this. So Paramatma, he guides us. So that's the difference. Lord is Achyuta, we are Achyuta. He is unborn, we are born. He is Vibhu, we are Anu. So there are many differences. There is a lot of difference between. Like you can write a homework. What are the difference between the Supreme Personality of Godhead and living entity? Maybe you can write 6-7 differences, and you can send it to me. Few students are very sincere. They write to me. I gave 2-3 homeworks. Few students, and because Krishna says that Manusanam says very little, very one or two. So at least one or two sincere students are there. They are doing their homework sincerely and sending to me, and they have a good, better understanding. I personally thank them for taking out time and answering the questions. So this is one more homework. Please give me 7 difference between the Jiva and the Supreme Personality of God. Now, the question comes is in the sloka number 6. It's a very, very important sloka number 6. This is, Krishna is saying, although I am unborn, and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all living entity, I still appear in every millennium. Oh, sorry. All millennium in my original transcendental form. See, in this verse there are 2 important words, that is Prakritim and Atma Maya. So there are set of people who think that the Lord is impersonal, and then the Lord takes the the Maya gives a form through Prakriti. Lord takes, like they refer to this sloka. It is written that Prakritim. So it's not that they say that the Lord also gets a body through the Prakriti, and Atma Maya, he is also affected by Maya. So that's how they argue. But so Acharyas gives a very, very beautiful. So if you see the first paragraph, Prabhupada is explaining what is the meaning of Prakriti. Prakriti means, see, the Lord has spoken about the peculiarity of his birth. Although he may appear like an ordinary person, he remembers everything of his many, many past birth. Whereas a common man cannot remember what he has done even a few hours before. We won't remember, we don't know what we have done yesterday at this time. Right? We are so insignificant. But the Lord knows many, many births. If some, see, this is the beauty of Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada puts a complex philosophy in an ordinary way, so that even an ordinary person can understand. And then Prabhupada is explaining, if someone is asked what he did exactly the same time one day earlier, it could be very difficult for a common man to answer immediately. He could surely have to degrade his memory to recall what he has done, what he was doing exactly at the same time one day before. And yet, men often dare to claim to be God or Krishna. Sometimes people declare themselves that I am the Lord. Many people say that. Many avatars are there. They claim themselves as Lord. So we should be very, very careful and not to accept anyone as Lord. Nobody can imitate Lord. Because it is clearly declared in scriptures when the Lord descends, which day, who is their father, mother, when, everything is very clear in the scriptures. So we should not get fooled by these things. And one should not be misled by such meaningless claim. Then again the Lord explains his Prakriti. Prakriti means Surup. If you read the commentaries of many Acharyas, so they give a very detailed explanation in this sloka, because all Acharyas jump on this sloka to explain this Prakriti is not the Prakriti, this is not an external energy, it is Prakriti means Lord Surup. If Lord is dependent on the external energy, then he loses his position as a Supreme Personality of Godhead. He cannot be a Supreme Personality of Godhead. If he is under the Maya, if he is under his energy, then how can he be a Supreme Personality of Godhead? If he is controlled by his own energy, then he cannot be a Supreme Personality of Godhead. So then, Prabhupada explains in last paragraph what is meant by Maya. Maya means Atma Maya, refers to the Lord's causeless mercy. That means it's internal potency, it's Yoga Maya. It's not a Mahamaya, it's Yoga Maya. Through the internal potency Lord designs actually. So that is the main meaning of these 2 words. And in sloka number 7, so now question comes is, he is unborn. The next question arises, why he appears? He is Achyuta, he is unborn, then why he comes to this material world? He explains. very famous sloka. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious principle, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise of religion, at that time I descend myself. And in sloka number 8, to deliver the pious, to annihilate the miscreant, as well as to re-establish the principle of religion, I myself appear millions after millennium. So it is said that for 3 reasons Lord appears. The first reason is that the main reason why he comes is to protect his devotees and to reciprocate with his devotees. Paritrayanam sadhunam vinasaya duskritam. So that is the first reason. And second reason is that to kill the demons. See, why Lord can, even Rishi Muni can kill demons. Why Lord has to kill? Because there are certain demons that cannot be killed by anyone. Just like Ravana, Hiranyakashipu. They can only be killed by the Lord. They cannot be killed by anyone. This is the second reason why he comes. And third reason, to establish dharma. What is the dharma? To worship the Lord, to serve the Lord. These are the real dharma, which has been lost and forgotten. So when the dharma is forgotten, Lord comes as avatar or by himself, like Krishna, and then or he sends his dear devotees to establish the dharma. That's what it is. Okay. Now, sloka number 9. So now this sloka number 9 talks about, okay, if you understood why Lord appears, like you would all, now you came to know the 3 reasons why Lord appears. So what is the benefit if someone understands that why Lord appears, what benefit he gets? It's said in next sloka. Janma karma chame divyam evam yuveti tatvata tukta degam punarjanmaneti mameti suarjuna. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not upon leaving the body takes his birth again in this material world. It never takes birth. If he understands the appearance of the Lord, transcendental appearance of the Lord and then activities, he never takes birth. And by attaining my abode or Arjuna, he comes back to me. That is the result of knowing the Lord's transcendental appearance and activities. Now here the few words, few terms which we understood very deeply. One is Tattvataha. Divya means what? Transcendental. And Tattvata means, by Tattva means we should know that the activities and the birth of the Lord is truly eternal. It's not material. It's truly eternal. It's not some magical things is happening here. It's truly eternal. One should have a complete conviction that it is truly eternal. And if that conviction is there, then what happens? Tvakta degam punarjanma means it's not that after quitting his body goes back to Godhead. Even in this lifetime, even having this body, we will be in the spiritual world. Our consciousness will be in the spiritual world. He no need to give up this body. Even now, he will be in my abode. He is in spiritual world. So then after quitting his body, he will definitely go back. But if someone factually convinced that the activities and the appearance of the Lord is truly eternal, then in this body only he will be in my abode. That's what he is saying. And sloka number 10. So someone understands tattva. By tattva he understood. And what will happen to them? It is said in sloka number 10. Vitaraga bhaya krodha manmaya ma upasrita. It is said, being freed from attachment, fear, anger, and being fully absorbed in me, taking refuge in me, many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attain transcendental love for me. So here it is said there are few very important things. That is, Vita means freed from Raga, Bhaya, Krodha. What is meant by Raga? Raga means attachment to the material world. If someone is very much attached to the material world, naturally he neglects the spiritual activities. Because he is too busy in the material activities, he has no time for spiritual activities. And he is very attached to that. So naturally he does. So what is meant by Bhaya? Bhaya means, because he sees that this material world is full of suffering, this body means suffering. Oh, they like Few people, I think, by hearing the lecture, few people are having headache, right? Maybe they may have, when I read Bhagavad Gita, you may not be able to understand what is this, nothing is getting in, right? So, you can day to day life, you can see many are diseased, so many of trouble, many are the cheaters, so much of problem. This body means trouble. So you think that, oh, this in this material world, if you have this body, it is trouble. So the spiritual world means there is no form, because there is happiness. So then means there is no form. Because he is fearful of this body, the fearful of form. That's why he thinks that there is no form. That's why many people have this conception that there is no form, and the Lord has no form. In the spiritual world, there is no form. It's completely impersonal, like that, no. So because they have an experience that if the form has miseries, and how in spiritual world there will be misery, so that means there should not be any form. So that kind of misconception is there. So then Krodha, because he want to get merged into the impersonalism, so he cannot be, without activity, he cannot be happy. Yeah. Suppose you are sitting in a room alone, no one is interacting with you, will you not be get bored? You will get frustrated. That's what Krodha, get frustrated. So this is what it is said. But when you engage in, if you take refuge in me, if you take shelter of me, then what will happen? Then you will become purified, and you'll come to me, and you'll attain love for me. So Prabhupada writes in the last paragraph, to get free from this three stage of material conception of life, one has to take up the shelter of the Lord, guided by a bona fide spiritual master, and follow the disciplines and regulatory principle of devotional service. The last stage of devotional life is called Bhava, or the transcendental love of God. Then he Prabhupada explains about the 9th stage of devotional service, how from Shraddha to Prem one attains. Now the question comes is that, okay, in 10th verse Krishna is saying, okay, those who are purified, you said that they'll come to you. Okay, now the question arises that someone does not get completely purified, what will happen to them? If someone has a desire, you want to become an impersonalist, if you want to become a good materialistic person, and you want to become strict yogi, then what will happen to him? And Krishna answers in the next sloka. Ye tamam prapadante tam sataiva bhajayaham mam vartamam anuvartante manusaya parthasarvashah. As all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly, even follows path in all respect, O son of Partha. He said that Krishna is saying that okay, someone have a different desire, they have a different desire and different goal. If they come, whatever desire they have, I fulfill accordingly. If they want to become materialistic, okay, I give them that boon. Okay, you become a good materialist. If they want to become yogi, okay, I award them that. If you want to merge in impersonalism, okay. You want to become my devotee, okay. So in this way, it depending upon the desire, Lord rewards. Right? That's what it is explained here. But the main thing is that Manusaya Partha Sarvasya, everyone is dependent on the mercy of the Lord. Everyone's desire is fulfilled by the Lord. He cannot independently, he cannot get it. Even whether it's a karmi, whether it's a jnani, whether it's a yogi, whether it's a devotee, everyone has to depend on the Lord. We may desire to be like that, but the desire is fulfilled by the Lord. Right? So that's the point. He's saying that, see, everyone's desire I fulfill. Right? Ultimately, everyone has to be dependent on the Lord. Right? So sometimes, there is a question comes, what's the time? Sorry. Someone can help me, what's the time? 6:39. So, few say that the Lord is very partial to his devotees, because we often see that Lord supports demigod, He seems to be very partial to demigods. No, it's not like that. If you see, if you take an example, like Prabhupada gives a very beautiful example. In a school, the teacher may show special attention to a sincere student. If someone is very sincere, yes, he will be very, very, will be grateful, and then he will definitely help. He will take out time. This is a sincere soul, is trying to understand Bhagavad Gita, coming regularly, asking good queries. Right? So, yeah, if someone is sincere, definitely the attention will be there for them. So, but that doesn't mean is partiality. You understood what I'm saying? So this is what, like it seems like that. So now, question arises that, okay, Krishna is ready to give according to whatever the desire is, he is ready to fulfill. And then Krishna is saying that if someone surrenders completely, I am ready to give pure devotion service. And why all the living entities are not surrendering? Krishna is clearly declaring, if he surrenders completely, I will give pure devotion. I will give myself to him. But why jivas are not surrendering? Especially who are in Gita, who is attending Gita class, why they are not surrendering? What is the reason behind? So now Krishna is explaining why everyone are not surrendering. He said in sloka number 12, men in this world desire success and fruitive activities. Therefore, they worship the demigod. Quickly, of course, men get result from the fruitive work in this world. Now, Krishna is saying that because people have different material desire because of the fruitive activities, therefore they are not fully surrendered. Because they have material desire, they want to enjoy. Because of that, they don't have any surrender. The degree we have this enjoying tendency, the degree we want to enjoy independent of the Lord, that much degree, the surrender will not be there. Because, so now question arises that many people have different desire. Someone is worshipping impersonal Brahman, someone is worshipping Supreme Lord, someone is worshipping demigod, someone is atheistic, someone is worshipping his forefathers. Why there is different desire? Is that Krishna is controlling? Is that Krishna is controlling all the living entities? And then he is indulging in many, he is giving many desires to many living entities. In this way, Krishna is controlling all the living entities. Is Krishna is responsible? Now Krishna is answering. Then Krishna is giving an answer. And the sloka number, then why different people have different desire? Why there is different? Is Krishna is controlling and Krishna is answering. In sloka number 13. Very famous sloka. According to the three modes of mental nature, the work associated with them, the four divisions of human society are created by me. Although I am the creator of the system, you should know that I am yet non-doer and being unchangeable. So it is in the sloka 13. Why different people have different desire? Because they are influenced by three modes. Because they are influenced by three modes, different people have different desire. That is Tama, Raja and Sattva. Because these three modes is influencing all the people. So, someone is in Tama, he has a different desire. Someone is in Rajagun, he has a different desire. Who's in Satagun, he is in different desire. There is combination 3 into 3, 9, 9 into 9, 81. So, there's so much of probabilities are there. Different desire. That's how we maybe look like same, we may be in same family, but everyone has a different desire, different agenda, different goal. So, in order to facilitate that, facilitate and fulfill the desire, Lord is saying that I have to fulfill the desire also, at the same time I want to elevate them also. Therefore, Krishna is saying, I have created a Varnashram system. Chatur Varnya Maya system. Guna Karma Vibhagashah. He says, because of that, I created a Varnashram system, and this system is created by Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself, so that the different people who are having a different desire, their desire can fulfill, and at the same time they can elevate also. So that's why they can do their, according to guna and karma, they can do their prescribed duty and then they can elevate. That's the reason Krishna has created this Chaturvarna Maya system, guna karmadi vibhav. I hope this very important basic understanding of Bhagavad Gita should be very, very clear about this. This is the reason why Krishna created this Varnashram system. Now Krishna is saying in sloka number 14, there is no work that affects me, nor do I desire, nor do I aspire for fruits of action. One who understands this truth about me also does not become entangled in the fruitive reaction of work. So now Krishna is saying, see, why I am not entangled? Because I don't desire for fruits, and I don't. That's why I don't get affected. That's why I don't get entangled. Right? See, desire to fruit binds one. So Krishna is saying, see, I don't desire, therefore I don't get bounded, therefore I don't get entangled. So one who understands this principle, and he also does not get bound. That's why he also acts like this. Now Krishna is turning the whole thing into. Now he's coming to Nishkam Karma Yoga. See, Arjuna asked a question. Krishna answered. Gradually, Krishna said, I created Varnashram system because the different people have different desires. So I done this. Then now, again, he is bringing the discussion into Nishkam Karma Yoga. And he says, now, see, I work, but I don't attach to the result. So I am not bound. So you also work. You also don't get attached to the result. You also don't get bounded. In this way, Krishna is encouraging him to perform Nishkam Karma. So in sloka number 14, there are three analogy. You can take this also homework. How Krishna is explaining, I am not responsible, Jiva is responsible. So this is a very important discussion. Who is responsible? Because of whom we are here? Is Jiva is responsible? Is Lord is responsible? Is Guna is responsible? This is a very complex discussion. Actually, it's a very deep discussion. This we'll discuss in next class, maybe next week, because in 5th chapter, who is actually responsible? But in this sloka, in this purport, it's very nicely explained how Lord is not responsible. That has been explained. So now, sloka number 15. So in sloka number 14, Krishna is encouraging him to do Nishkam Karma Yoga, and he is inspiring Arjuna to do Nishkam Karma Yoga. All the liberated soul in the ancient time acted with this understanding of my transcendental nature. Therefore, you should perform your duty following in their footsteps. Now Krishna is saying, see, I am happy without any desire. And somebody acts in this way, he is also happy. He is also not entangled. And so many are acted in this way. See, there are many liberated souls. They have been acted in this way. If you don't want to follow my path, why can't you follow the liberated souls who has followed this path and they were very happy? So in this way, Krishna is trying to convince Arjuna to perform Nishkam Karma Yoga. You perform the duty. You don't follow in my footstep, but you follow in footstep of all the ancient liberated souls. You can follow in their footstep. In this way, Krishna is encouraging. So now, one important question comes is that there are many comments we get that Krishna is responsible for caste system. So one should be very, very clearly understand the difference between the caste system and Varnashram system. Varnashram system is based on guna and karma, and caste system is based on one's birth actually. So we should not get confused, because many people has this misconception that because of Krishna there is caste system prevails. No, caste the Varnashram system is based on guna and karma. But people in the caste system, they think that Brahmana means by birth. No, Prabhupada used to give a very beautiful example. Is about High Court. High Court judge, he can like son can call him as an High Court judge son, but he cannot say that because I am a son of an High Court judge, I am also an High Court judge. He has to qualify. So similarly, one should have the quality of a Brahmana to be a Brahmana. Just by getting birth in Brahmana, you cannot call him as a Brahmana. So this is when, like, that is how the caste system started. The caste system, the fight is because they identify with their birth. But what Krishna has established is because very clearly said, right? The slokas are very clear. Guna and karma, not by the birth. So this should be very, very clear. From sloka number 16 to 24, karma yoga. So Krishna is giving the discussion to karma yoga. Now you may be very bewildered. I think only few are they kept their video on, and many are not. I hope you will not get bewildered by the discussion which we are doing, because Krishna he clearly says in sloka, even the intelligence are bewildered in determining what is action, what is inaction. Now I shall explain to you what action is, knowing which you shall be liberated from all misfortune. So here Krishna is saying even intelligent are bewildered. So if you get bewildered, don't be surprised. Okay. So here Krishna is saying you should know what is action, what is inaction. So if you know what is my action and inaction, then you will be free from all misfortune. So Prabhupada writes in the last paragraph that therefore, out of causeless mercy to his devotee, the Lord explained directly to Arjuna what action is and what inaction is. Only the action performed in Krishna consciousness can be delivered a person from entangling mental existence. And then in the above also, he says that he quotes about all Mahajans. He says that one should follow in footsteps of great authority. By mental speculation, one cannot understand what is legioness or self-relation. So only by following footsteps of Mahajan, one can understand what is dharma. Only through Mahajan we can understand dharma. Otherwise, it is very, very difficult. That's how Prabhupada quotes the 12 Mahajans. So in sloka number 17, very beautiful sloka. The intricacies of actions are very hard to understand. Therefore, one should know properly what is action is, what forbidden action is, what is inaction is. So in this sloka, bodhavyam is said 3 times. What is it? Bodhavyam means should be understood. We should understand what is karma. We should understand what is akarma. We should understand what is vikarma. So this is also homework. You please write to me what is karma, vikarma, and akarma. Anyway, I'll explain, but still I want to see that whether you understood properly or not. Karma is the activities which is given, which we do according to the scriptures. That is karma. And what is karma? Which we do the activities which is not described in scriptures, which we do by the whims of the mind. That is vikarma. And what is akarma? Akarma is an activity which does not produce any reaction. This is akarma. So here it is said that you must understand. We should understand these 3 things. Now Prabhupada is explaining how to understand this thing, how to learn. It is written to understand all this, one has to associate with the authorities in Krishna consciousness and learn the secret from them. This is as good as learning from the Lord directly. Otherwise, even the most intelligent person will be bewildered. So one has to accept from the authority, or we have to associate with the devotees of the Lord. Then are the Mahajans, great acharyas, we have to follow their footsteps. And then the sloka number 18. Still it is more confusing. One who sees inaction in action and action in action is intelligent among men and is in transcendental position, although engaged in all sort of activities. It's more confusing. Inaction in action, action and inaction. It's nice, right? There is a good mixture of words, right? But it's quite easy to understand. So please show little attention. Inaction in action. What is by inaction in action? Inaction in action means you're doing an activity, but still it is not an activity. If you do any selfless, it looks like you're doing some activity, but since it is for the selfless cause, it is because of the transcendental cause, That action has no reaction. That's why inaction. You're doing an action, but there is no action at all. Understood? And then the next is action in action. If someone is a false renunciant, he goes to a forest, and then he is possessing himself as I am a renunciant, but in the mind he is contemplating on the sense object. Even though he is not doing any activity, but still he is acting because mind is active. So this is called, even though he is in action, he is not doing anything, but he is acting. I hope you understood. This is very bewildering, but still you are also intelligent. I hope you understood. If you do not understood, please write to me and again explain. Okay. Now, sloka number 19. See, from sloka number 19 and 20, it talks about one who perfected Nishkam Karma Yoga. Now, one is a sadhaka. In sadhaka means one is practicing Nishkam Karma Yoga. What is his qualities? That is explained in sloka number 19. One who is understood to be full knowledge, whose every endeavor is devoid of desire for sense gratification, he is said by sage to be a worker for whom the reaction of work have been burned up by the fire of perfect knowledge. So it is said that one has give up. It is written, the very important point is that kama sankalpa varjitah. One who has given up desire of kama means desire for sense gratification, desire for fruity result. So for that person there is no reaction at all. You understood? Huh? If one has given up desire to enjoy the fruity result, and what happened is there is a purification. The purification result in knowledge. That knowledge burns up the fruits of karma. You understand? If someone is acting without attachment to the fruits, then what will happen? There is no reaction. One does not want to use the fruits for sense gratification, then the result is that there is no reaction. All reaction is burned by the fire of knowledge. Therefore, if one performs activities without attachment to the fruit, one does not want to use it for sense gratification, that activities will not produce any reaction. This is the basic understanding of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. If we perform an activity totally free from fruits, then no reaction. The result is purification and leads to transcendental knowledge, and it leads to burning all our sinful reactions. Just take an example, someone is doing a business. So in a business, to do any activity, he has to do so many things. There could be many sinful activities involved in that, but he is not attached to fruits. The result is that he is not affected by all that sinful reaction. He is completely freed, and then because he is he is doing it for selfless cause, he will get the knowledge, because as we said, the knowledge is inbuilt if he is free from the fruits. So that's the thing. That's why Jnani is completely free from reaction, because Jnani, the perfect Nishkam Karma Yogi is Jnani. So he gets, it is said endeavor. In this sloka it is said endeavor. Sloka number 19 and 20 it says endeavor. Because he is endeavoring to give up the fruits, gradually gets purified, and then you get a Satagun Jnana. What is that Jnana? I am not this body, I am soul. This is the knowledge he gets. Hope you are with me, you understand. See, 4th chapter is the most technical chapter. If you understand this, then everything will go smooth. Right? So, and sloka number 20. Abandoning all attachment. See, abandoning. Now he is trying, endeavoring. That's why it is said this sloka is sadhaka. He is doing some activities, endeavoring. Abandoning all attachment to the result of his activities, ever satisfied and independent. He performs no fruitive action, although engaged in all kind of undertaking. No? So now here Prabhupada, if you see, Prabhupada gives a very devotional purport. This purport, if you see, it contains a bhakti. So now the question comes, why Prabhupada is writing a devotional purport to Nishkam Karma Yoga? Because here there is nothing called bhakti. See, it's very difficult to perform Nishkam Karma Yoga in the age of Kali. It's very, very difficult. Is it easy to give up fruits? And then Bhakti Yoga should have all the components of all the yoga. So it is difficult to perform all this yoga in this Kali Yoga. That's why Prabhupada is giving about the Bhakti Yoga, is talking about Bhakti Yoga, so that they can directly understand what is the process in Kali Yoga. They should not be confused what to do. They can understand, they can practice Bhakti Yoga. And then the Bhakti Yoga should have all the components of Nishkam Karma Yoga. What is the Nishkam Karma Yoga component? The quality is, it should be freed from fruits. When we perform a devotion service, we should not accept any fruits from that. So that should, and then he has the realization that I am not a body, I am a soul. Yes, the person who is practicing bhakti should have this understanding that I am not this body, I am soul, I am servant of Krishna. So this understanding has to be there. So that's why these component has to be there in the bhakti yoga. So that's why Arjuna is explaining all this karma yoga, jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga, then he comes to bhakti yoga. Because Arjuna should not get a doubt that if Krishna gives bhakti yoga, I think ashtanga yoga would have been better than bhakti yoga. So in order not to have any misunderstanding, he explains all the yogas in a very systematic way, and then he gives an option to Arjuna. Okay, Arjuna will explain. Arjuna will tell in sixth chapter how these are impossible. Arjuna is speaking. He is such a qualified person. What about us? And then the second reason why Krishna is speaking is how he is establishing how Bhakti Yoga is superior than all the yoga. Okay. So now sloka number 21. One who perfected Nishkam Karma Yoga. What is his quality? Such a man of understanding acts with mind and intelligence, perfectly controlled, give up all sense of proprietorship over his possession, and acts only for the bare necessity of life. Thus working is not affected by sinful reaction. So here it is said that there is no envy, no sense gratification. Why envy is comes? See, if there is no sense gratification desire, then there will be no envy. So when does envy comes? Envy comes when we want something from others. When we want something from some person, then there is envy. If I don't want anything from anyone, then there is no question of envy. So this is the perfected Nishkam Karma Yogi. Okay, so 22 is same thing talks about, and 23 the work of a man who is unattached to the mode of mental nature, who is fully situated in transcendental knowledge, merges entirely into transcendence. And sloka number 24. So sloka number 24 is a very important sloka. So see, in the 23, merges entirely into transcendental means this consciousness is not now material. Now consciousness is transcendental. You should not misunderstand that. In sloka number 24, what is the result of transcendental knowledge? If someone gets the transcendental knowledge, what is the result of that? It's already 7. I'll take 5 more minutes, 5 or 10 minutes, because I'll talk about the sacrifice. Maybe from next class we'll discuss about list of sacrifice. But this is very important. If you understand this concept, then every activity can be a sacrifice. That's what Krishna explains in this sloka. So please show some attention. A lot of philosophical things we have discussed today. The last thing which we are going to discuss about the sacrifice is very important. Every activity can be a sacrifice. If you can understand this principle, each and every activity you do, that can be a sacrifice. all material activities can be sacrificed. That's what Krishna says in this sloka. How it can be sacrificed. A person who is fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness is sure to attain the spiritual kingdom because of his full contribution to spiritual activities, in which the consummation is absolute and that which is offered is of the same spiritual nature. So in the middle of the paragraph, Prabhupada says, the more the activities of the material world are performed in Krishna consciousness or for Vishnu only, the more the atmosphere becomes spiritualized by complete absorption. The word Brahman means spiritual. And then in the beginning, if you see, Prabhupada gives an example of milk and a curd. See, if you add a tamarind to a milk becomes a curd. Is it not? Same way, any activity we perform, if you add tamarind to that activity can become a spiritual. What is the tamarind? That is consciousness. So, just like a milk turns to a curd by adding a tamarind, same way any material activity can become a spiritual activity if you add consciousness to it. If the consciousness, just by changing the consciousness, destination will change. The activities are the same. You are doing the same activity, but if you change the consciousness, destination will change. So that's what any material activity, slight change in consciousness, destination changes. That's what meaning performance of sacrifice. We change the consciousness. If you do it for Vishnu, then destination changes. That's what Krishna is telling Arjun. Arjun, you're thinking that you'll go to forest or you'll do some sacrifice. You'll take up the Brahmana's activity. Right now, you can do a yajna here. In battlefield, you can do a yajna. And you don't have to give up fight to do a yajna. Just by fighting, you will be doing a yajna. That's what Krishna is saying. The three words, very important words: contributor, contribution, consuming agent. Contributor, contribution, consuming agent. If contributor is spiritual, if contribution is spiritual, if consuming agent is spiritual, then the result is spiritual. Every sacrifice has three components: contributor, contribution, consuming agent. If all of them are spiritual platform, the result is also Brahman. That's what Krishna is trying to say. Right? If person is in spiritual consciousness, his contribution, then contribution is for Vishnu. The result will be, the contribution is spiritual. The result is Brahman actually. Right? Suppose you are doing some activity, the motive is spiritual. To whom you are contributing? Vishnu. The result is what? It goes back to Vishnu. Anyway, I'll explain this concept in next week also, because I'll show you some pictures and then I'll give you many examples how any activities can be turned to spiritual, because this concept has to be very clearly understood, because after this then there will be discussion on different people like brahmacharis, grihasthas, yogi, how everyone's activity can become spiritual, or everyone's activities can be a sacrifice. All activities how it can be acted as, like whatever like yajna we do, whatever charity we do, it could be material and it could be spiritual. You will get the result could be material also, it could result to be spiritual also. So how it is done, I will be explaining this class. Okay, thank you for patiently hearing. I hope that you are understanding. Right? So any doubt you have, the last session and last session so yes, please go ahead. Unmute. Okay.
रेस कर सकते हैं, पहले हैंड रेस करिए, उनको हम अनम्यूट करेंगे। आवाज आ रही?
Yes, yes, आ रही है.
I want to know that how can I act without react?
How can you
Without
act
react.
without react?
Because you said we have to do conscious karma, we have to do conscious action so that karma will not form.
So inaction in
Correct.
action. I said inaction in action. Inaction in action means you're doing an activity, but it looks like activity, but still that does not have any reaction. That is, if that the result you are giving to selfless cause, transcendental cause, or that you are not attached to the result, then it becomes inaction.
Okay, Guruji, suppose I am doing my work sincerely and I am enjoying my work. Because I love my work. So is it reaction? It is action.
You are loving work, but you should not love the fruits.
I love work and I leave everything.
you can you can love the work, but the problem comes when we love the fruits.
How do I
The fruits
how
gives the
do I know
reaction.
that I am loving
If
work or I am loving fruit?
yeah, if the result does not come, there is a frustration, there is a stress, there is anxiety. My how Because I have not got the result which I desired, and then how to use that result. If it is using it for your sense gratification, because you want to use it for your sense gratification, because you are already planned some kind of sense gratification with this result, that's how there is more anxiety, because you're attached to that enjoyment. So that's how you get reaction.
So
Okay, thank you. Yes, Salil. Good. Someone can unmute. Yes, thanks.
I understand what you are talking about, calm current, not being as and self gratification, and I truly want to move towards that. But
Yeah,
the mind is not getting
allowing.
allowing
Yes.
that to happen.
Yeah. That's what in last class we discussed. Very beautiful sloka 3.33. A person knows very clearly that he has a knowledge. Krishna says, "Serve me." Those who follow my instruction, he will get liberated. Those who does not follow my instruction, they will be fooled, ruined. Arjuna is asking, "Oh, is it true? How come a person knows that if you don't follow your instruction, you get ruined, and still they don't follow?" Krishna said, because it's very difficult to give up the nature because of the sinful impression we have. So that actually pushes us to do that activity which we don't feel like doing it, because we got the knowledge what to do and what not to do. So that's why one should consciously work on purification of the heart. This we have to endeavor. Remain pure. That's what Krishna is saying, Arjun. Purification of heart is not easy. You are planning to give up prescribed duty. You know what kind of blunder you are doing. Is it easy to purify the sinful tendencies? It's not easy to give up sinful tendencies. Tendencies are so powerful. That's why, keeping this in mind, I have done so many mistakes in my life. May not be. I'm just giving an example. In my life, these sinful desires, sinful seeds are there in my mind, which is pushing me constantly. Do this, that. I know I should not do it, but I'm helpless. Understanding the nature, what kind of consciousness I have, and sincerely endeavoring to get purified. That sincerity is required in our life. When we do, God helps those who help themselves. So gradually you'll get purified. That is the real happiness which we are really looking for, not that external happiness which we are looking for. So that is what we are here for, to taste that higher taste, which we call it as an higher taste. Someone is free from this sinful tendencies. His heart is pure. Uh, like 5.7 we'll be discussing. Vijitatma, Jitendriya, Vijitatma. People are eager to take darshan, touch them, see them, observe them, because their heart is so pure. They are very dear to the who is evil-minded, who is pious. Everyone is they are automatically attracted to that person because his heart is pure. He has nothing to do with anyone. Because he has no sinful tendencies. He does not have no sinful desires. So we should really work towards that. Sincerely. Practice devotional service, chanting the holy name. Just like I said, in the centers, purify your intelligence by reading scriptures, listen to great devotees of the Lord, Vaishnavas. They're not giving information, they're giving their consciousness also. Their purified consciousness. That will actually purify you. This purpose is you're directly getting the association of Sri Prabhupada. It's pure in consciousness. He was given so many people by reading Bhagavad Gita, their life has changed. So it still is like that. When we read and we get purified, even we may not understand, but still the purification process is happening. Okay? Thank you. Yes, Priyam. Hare Krishna. I'm not able to hear. Yeah, maybe a little bit louder, please.
Yeah, you said lust is the greatest mystery for human beings. So I want to know how to eliminate the lust. If we can eliminate the lust through Krishna consciousness, then what are the steps or how to initiate the Krishna consciousness?
Okay, very good question. So, you're already initiated the Krishna consciousness because you're attending the regular classes. So, the first thing is to get the knowledge which you're getting it, and then if I don't know which place you're from, so if nearby temple is there, you can go to the temple. You're from which place? Hare Krishna. Okay, you can go to the, I don't know exactly from which place, if you can tell me.
Yes, I'm from Bangalore.
Bangalore, you can go to the Bangalore temple, I'll send you the address.
Yes, tomorrow I am going to ISKCON-Delhi.
Yeah, you can go there and then meet the devotees there, chant the holy name, take the darshan of the Lord, render some service. Not big complex, but it's not a big thing. It's small. Like I said, no, the senses, you have to engage your senses to go to temple. You use your leg to go to temple. Use your eyes to see the Lord. Use your nose to smell the Lord's flowers. Right? So, and use your head to offer the obeisances. So you get purified. So it's not a big thing. Right? Or you make your home as a temple. Clean the temple hall, clean the picture of the Lord if you cannot go to temple. So make your home as a temple and do some service, cook for the Lord, make garland for the Lord, bring garland for the Lord, pluck some flowers for the Lord. Lord himself says, Patram Puspam Phalam Toyam. I am very pleased someone offers some leaf, flowers, some fruits. If you see some good fruit, I'll offer this to the Lord. Just like when you see something, main beta ko dunga, I'll give this to my child. So if you can make Lord as your child, he is dependent on me. Even though we are dependent on him, it's a different mood. So this is, we can do this type of service, you get purified. This desire which we have to, this is the beginning of Krishna consciousness. Okay? And you chant the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Whenever you get time, your consciousness will get purified, your heart get purified. Gradually, the dormant, like I am servant of Krishna, that will get awakened. Okay, the dormant love of God get awakened with this holy name. Because Krishna says, Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Sutto Nitya Mukto Avinato Nama Namino. There's no difference between Lord's and Lord's name. So when you chant the holy name of the Lord, Lord is personally present because it's an absolute platform, absolute platform that is the one and the same. Okay, Hare Krishna. Someone is asking, explain the text number 18. So text number 18 is that inaction in action means someone is doing some action, but the result is giving for some selfless cause or transcendental cause, then he is acting but still is not acting. Someone is not doing any activities, he renounced from the activity, but still it is considered as an action because the mind is contemplating on some sense gratification thing or some material desire. That's why. Okay. Okay, please, Hema, yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. You
Hare
can hear
Krishna.
me? I'm audible.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, last class you said you will be sharing flowchart of class.
Yeah. Sorry, I'll.
You'll send it
Actually,
in the
I
group,
am.
Prabhuji?
Yeah, I'll send it to the group. That will be right. Okay.
Okay.
So, same thing I explained.
Intelligence,
How.
intelligence, mind and senses, is that what?
Yes, this, yeah. And then main thing, the soul. I have not mentioned the soul. The soul should be engaged in chanting the holy name. When you chant the holy name, the soul is in direct contact with the Lord. So, in this way, like Prabhupada writes in purport, if you read in 42 and 43, if I can, I'll just read and tell you. If you go to sloka number 42, yes, 42. 42, the middle of the first paragraph. If therefore the soul is directly engaged with the Supreme, then naturally all other subordinates, namely the intelligent mind sense, will automatically engaged. Very beautiful. Then in the next end of the paragraph, Prabhupada says, therefore the direct understanding the constitutional portion of the soul is the solution of the whole problem. Very beautiful. See, you understood, no? So when you chant the holy name, you will have a clear understanding of the constitutional portion. So then when we understand the constitutional portion, then naturally you will try to engage the intelligent mind senses in that way. Because we have no understanding of the constitutional portion, we think that I am the body, so that we naturally use our intelligent mind and senses in that way. Then Prabhupada, and next line he writes, with intelligence one has to seek out the constitutional portion of the soul, then engage the mind always in Krishna consciousness. That solves the whole problem. Very beautiful. So in this way you can eradicate the lust.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I'm enjoying the class. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Yes, Sachin. Sachin?
Hello.
Yes. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask regarding that last phrase, sacrifice. So the contribution, the contributor, the contribution, and the third is
consuming agent.
Intake.
Yeah.
So how can we guarantee that the intake person is also like consciousness or like?
So
that
yeah, consuming agent. So I will be explaining more detailing with the flow. I will be presenting some pictures and then explaining that.
Okay.
So
Sir,
I'll go. It requires some more time for me, 5 to 10 minutes. I'll do
sure.
that because that is
Sir.
very important aspect. Because if you understand that, then everything will be within 15 minutes. The whole chapter will be over. Right? Okay, I'll explain that very detail.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, Gunika.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Yes.
Prabhuji, can you share your email ID to the WhatsApp group?
I already put it in chat. Right?
Prabhuji, my internet connection was lost, so I could not get it at that time.
You can check in the chat. Now I'm typing it, so you can mail to me. Okay. Now you got it.
No, Prabhuji, I didn't get it.
Okay, I'll put it in maybe. What's your name? Okay, I'll put it in the group. I'll put it in the group.
Thank you,
Okay.
Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Thank
Hare
you very
Krishna.
much.
Hare Krishna.
So we'll meet. Oh, one more thing I like to next week. I have some Rath Yatra is coming up. No, there's so many Rath Yatras are coming up. I may not be available next week. So next week we may not have a class. I'll confirm. I'll put it in group. I'll discuss with Bigyan Prabhu and then I'll come back to you. Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna.